Aloha Kako, and welcome back to Just and True. I'm going to do a brief video just regarding this recent Senate bill that was passed, like 273 to 22. Just going to show that they're all on the same team, and any kind of division that's made public is just a horse and pony show to get people distracted and divided and to not care or focus on what actually matters. So, like some of you probably know, the Senate just passed a bill, a very, very worrying bill, that allows the United States, or that doesn't allow the United States to leave NATO, the North Atlantic Treaty Organization. We are now forced to stay in NATO. If we wanted to remove ourselves from NATO, we couldn't. The House just passed a bill saying that not only could the president even put up legislation to allow us to exit, they're trying to make it firm, so firm that we just couldn't leave NATO, period. The way it's worded basically goes on to say that legislation from either the president or from Senate will not be effective when it comes to leaving NATO. And regardless of how you feel about NATO itself, I think that it is another step towards a globalist agenda. It is a way to get all powers under one power, to take away sovereignty, to take away rights. It's a lot of a slippery slope. What it does is if any one of these nations get attacked by anybody, we automatically have to involve ourselves, which is preposterous because besides staged attacks, false flag attacks, civil war, different coups, that's just ridiculous to think of, especially nowadays. The reasoning behind them saying that we really need it is because they're pointing the finger at Russia and how powerful Russia's getting and becoming such a threat to the world. You could say the same about any other country. We need to voice our opinion when it comes to NATO. If you don't agree with the military tactic point of it being an unsafe agreement, an unsafe treaty that will only lead to further war and destruction in not only the United States but the people of the world, we need to realize that we are spending like 3% of our GDP or 2.5% or some ridiculous amount of money on NATO. It's an ungodly amount of money. These other nations that are, Montenegro, UK, what's going on here? These countries are not putting on nearly as much money, putting up as much money as we are. Not even a tenth of the amount of finances. France, Germany, Belgium, none of these places are putting up the money that we're putting up. So not only is it unfair economically that the United States is basically funding it, solely funding NATO, but it also puts us in a point where we are defending countries, even if they start a situation, start a tension in the area, if they get attacked for any reason, we have to involve ourselves, and it gives the globalist, it gives the Zionist, Jesuit, Rothschild bankers, the central banker cartels, so much more leverage to control our policies and our military movement when we're not allowed to control our military. You know, at first it's whoever attacks America will analyze the situation and will respond accordingly. Now it's whoever attacks any one of these allies in NATO, we must respond to the way that they see fit, not even us. So, just to recap, 260 or 270 senators, they all agreed on this. They all agreed on it. So, whenever something comes up that's an issue, that's a real issue, not an issue for us people, lowly peons, to think about, divide about, and argue over. But when a true issue comes up, the real powers that be make sure that that agenda gets pushed through. Not leaving NATO, that's a real issue. The fact that so many people, so many of these dog, honorless pigs that want to kill and maim and push an agenda for these horrible, evil people, that they care more about their bank accounts and their fiat currency and their welfare than the people that they're supposed to be representing, they're pushing this bill. We need to voice our opinion on how we feel about it. If you disagree with me, then that's fine. It's all about voicing our opinion. But I'm telling you right now, this is a step towards a globalist agenda of pushing war and causing destabilization and causing a petrol-based dollar and keeping the US dollar as a reserve currency, if not some other currency. But it looks like it's us. They are manipulating the masses to be divided over simple issues. They're giving this false illusion to say that the left and the right don't like each other and they can never work with each other, and you have to hate each other because they hate each other. When in all actuality and in all honesty, that's not true. That is not the truth. There's so much bipartisan legislation going on that they work on together and they push it through as long as it's part of the agenda. And they come up with these stupid, asinine subjects and reasons for us to get involved with each other and to start these fights and to start these disruptions, so we don't know what's going on. So we aren't actually listening to what's supposed to be happening. If they don't create these false events to get us distracted, then we'll actually see what's going on with the legislature, with the Senate, with what's happening in the White House, with what's happening with anything that comes out of Congress. We need to stay more thoroughly involved now than ever. We need to look past the BS and we need to look for the real truth, what's actually being pushed, what's actually happening. This government shutdown, what they're affecting, what they're offering to take away our Second Amendment rights, the legislation that's actually being put through, that's very important. We need to educate ourselves on it, and we need to not listen to mainstream media. We need to start discussions with everybody, especially people who don't know, people who aren't involved, people who don't care. Start a discussion about NATO. Start a discussion about Second Amendment rights. Forget about the wall. Forget about this wall, whether you want it or whether you don't want it. It's causing way too much disturbance, it's taking way too much attention, and it's causing us to not pay attention to things going down in Venezuela, to things going down in the Kirk Strait, to things going down in the South China Sea, to things going down in Taiwan, to things going down in Gibraltar, to things going down in the Ukraine border, to things going down in Turkey, Israel, Iran, what's happening in the United States here with us not being able to pull out of NATO. Those are the things we need to talk about. Forget about the wall and start thinking about everything that's happening around us. I know most of you guys already know this, but start a discussion with the people that do. I'm fired up. I'm really pissed today because I just can't believe the amount of ignorance and arrogance that goes around. I know that everybody's wrong. I'm not saying I'm high and mighty and everything I say is right, but I can't believe the amount of division over stupid subjects when you have real issues going on that are flat, plain out not good for us, and we're not even talking about them. We're talking about things that don't matter. Anyway, aloha kako, ahui ho, mahalo for coming in, and until next time, I'll see you later.